market activity be cursed. The standard of an automatic market is plainly excessively foul for the thin universe of great Aston Martins. The all-new, all-old continuation DB4 GT, a manufacturing plant-constructed copy of the first, figures out how to goose Adam Smith by turning the since a long time ago settled financial hypothesis on its head. The entry of 25 more DB4 GT speaks to a generous increment in the aggregate supply. Just 75 were delivered the first run-through around in the vicinity of 1959 and 1963. However, as opposed to discouraging the estimations of the current autos, not to what might as well be called $2 million that Aston Martin Works is charging for the continuation autos, it has really supported estimations of the firsts. Since Aston declared plans to fabricate this auto in late 2016, you'd have expected to discover at any rate $2.5 million for a half-average GT and significantly more for one of the ultra-uncommon lightweights that the continuation show is designed after. A 1959 illustration, the main fabricated, sold last August at a Pebble Beach sell-off for $6.77 million. Not that changes haven't been made. The new autos are worked to all the more demanding norms, in the wake of examining of a few unique illustrations demonstrated that they were all significantly not quite the same as each other. The works builds additionally understood that the soonest autos had all been worked with a somewhat wrinkled body, perhaps on the grounds that they were delivered at one of David Brown's tractor plants, and this has been rectified as opposed to recreated. These new autos are worked at the Aston Martin Works office in Newport Pagnell, England, making them the principal new autos amassed there since 2007. Bored holes and shut lines are amassed to more tightly resistances, and the paint complete is to a far higher standard than you'd find on any auto in 1959. The continuation has likewise been required to breeze through the same extraordinary strength tests as Aston's present Perseverance race autos, including a 2,500-mile drive finished at Italy's Nardo track the previous summer. The continuation has a 4.2-liter inline-six motor, marginally greater than the first's 3.7-liter unit, however breathing through a similar trio of carburetors, two-barrel, side draft Webers. It is tractable by the gauges of exceptionally tuned carb-bolstered motors, yet is unmistakably intended to convey its best at high revs. Indeed, even on the straights of the Silverstone National Circuit, the back tires began to squirm in challenge as the motor surrounded its 6,000 revolution per minute control top. We may have encountered the full 331 strength, yet in the event that so just quickly, the GT feels much more restless and energizing than any cutting-edge auto with a comparative yield. The 4-speed manual gearbox requires acclimatization. It utilizes puppy rings rather than synchromesh, implying that motor and street speeds must be coordinated for smooth movements, and downshifts require twofold gripping, and expertise we don't get the chance to hone frequently enough. Luckily, the firm brake pedal conveys both strong hindrance, when contrasted with the squirrelly conduct under power, and a strong stage for foot rear area and toe downshifts. Before the finish of our concise spell on the auto, we were beginning to get the talent. Be that as it may, cornering required a more radical change in system on account of the self-destroying humility of the GT's sidelong grasp. Transforming into the tight right-hander at Beckett's at what felt like an exceptionally mindful pace, we found the front of the auto breaking into gawky understeer. Moderating additionally brought it once more into line, however then even a delicate throttle application sent the back wheels sliding wide. Little ponder that such a large number of the photos of autos dashing in this period demonstrate them in four-wheel floats. Be that as it may, the GT's low braking points, and the need to ace the aptitudes required to take advantage of them, are a major piece of its allure. It's a delicate brute that should be driven with mind. The majority of the controls are fit for the essential artfulness, however you should acknowledge the requirement for extraordinary regard. It is by all accounts snappiest at the very cusp of energy oversteer, with the power lock constrained slip differential helping the back help to give directional guidelines. We unquestionably didn't ace it amid our short time at Silverstone, yet we can see the interest of spending numerous hours on dangerous surfaces to take in more. Paul Spires yields that the choice to create 25 of these continuation GTs was an intense one. Jaguar made only 7 of its carried-on lightweight E-types and approached less cash for each of them. The number was picked as the adjust of the 100 DB4 GTs that Aston should have worked to legitimize the auto's unique hustling vocation. Zagato bodied another 19 DB4 GTs, and furthermore to give a practical spending plan to permit both legitimate improvement and for Aston to take some benefit from the venture. In that capacity, the organization has obviously made a craving for more work in a comparative vein. Every one of the 25 of these continuation autos were represented long prior. Having assembled such a remarkable group, and made such an outstanding auto, it would be a disgrace in the event that they weren't permitted to accomplish something unique, Spires says. Post your recommendations in the remarks. The completed outcome is an auto that feels nearer to being a clone as opposed to a unique, and we've almost certainly that the estimations of the early DB4 GTs will keep on being unsullied by the presence of what is, as a result, a no culminate tribute act. However, what a tribute!